Boom. All right, what's going on, you guys? It's Roy, it's Jacob. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a special edition of Monday Stock Watch. Hope you all had a great Labor Day weekend. If you did do anything worth sharing, definitely drop it down below so we can talk some story in the comments. But it is time to get back down to business, you guys. The crypto market is performing beautifully as we head into this 4-day trading week. So I am personally expecting heightened volatility, but I'm also expecting very promising price action for some of our favorite Bitcoin miners and, of course, crypto-related stocks. Let's get into it. As always, we'll quickly go over each of the names we'll be discussing, and then we'll check each one of them out individually. So in front of us, you guys know the drill, the usual trading view, where we will talk technicals and price targets for the following, once again, in this order, going down the watch, as you can see right here on the right. Kicking it off, of course, with the big dog, with the king, Bitcoin. Of course, if we are looking at Bitcoin miners, we have to establish our opinion on Bitcoin first. So we'll kick it off on the charts with good old BTC after we cover BTC, which is currently sitting just under 53K. You guys, you'll love to see it. This ascending channel, as you guys can see in front of us already, is beautiful. And it's hard to not be bullish on a chart that looks like this, okay? So kick it off once again with a good old BTC. After that, we'll move into the OGs, Rye Blockchain and Marathon Digital. A lot of you guys know, of course, if you're obviously if you guys are following these stocks, that Riot has actually been being outperformed by Mara pretty significantly. So Mara has been significantly outperforming Riot for the past week or so. Mara currently sitting at $43, Riot sitting at the inverse, $34. I'm sorry. So I will say right off the bat, you guys know my opinion. If you guys have been following, if you guys have been part of the Waves fam for a while, you guys have been following Riot and Mara, we know that these two tend to play games of catch up with each other. And usually Riot, and of course this can change over time as the fundamentals and operations of the companies change, but Riot usually ends up on top. Right now, Mara is way ahead. So I'm personally feeling significantly more bullish on Rye Blockchain as we head into the week, and I'll explain more about that more about why that is as we dive into the charts. All right, so after the OGs, Riot and Mara, we will move on to the newer kids on the block, bitfarms and BTBT. Both of these, I'll say right now, I'm freaking bullish on. Bitfarms looks amazing. Bitfarms, as you guys know, if you guys watched the video I posted last week talking about my top 3 stock picks of August, Bitfarms is my number one. The fundamentals and technicals are both absolutely fantastic for Bitfarms. The stars are all aligning, and I'm very confident in Bitfarms as we head into this new week. BTBT, I love the volatility we saw as we closed out last week. I'm confident we'll see the same this week. But again, although heightened volatility is a thing, I mean, if the volatility is going towards the upside, that's a great thing because it means even more exciting price action. All right, so Bit Digital will be the second to the last one we're covering, and then we can't not talk SPRT. Not quite a Bitcoin miner yet, but I know you guys are all excited about SPRT. So last week, of course, we saw a correction, nothing out of the ordinary. If you guys watched kind of my downside price target or the video where we covered SPRT, talking downside price targets from the run up to 50 bucks. I mean, I was expecting $20. We could always go lower, of course, but it does, I mean, it looks promising to honestly see SPRT around $20 to $22. Definitely more potential. I mean, the lower it goes, of course, the more possibility there is for potential upside. I'm not guaranteeing that yet, but we will take a look at SPRT regardless. And actually, you guys, I want to close out the video taking a look at Coinbase, because in all honesty, Coinbase is probably the most solid. I'm not going to say this thing's going to like 2x in a week, but in terms of just a solid play, Coinbase is probably my number one right now, in all honesty, all right? Before we do dive into the charts for real and talk technicals, I will ask you guys to please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it today, or if you're personally invested in or trading any of the names we're going to be talking about. It really means a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, want to catch more content like this, always covering the crypto sector. These are some of my favorite stocks in the market, you guys. So if these are performing over the course of this week, we will definitely be talking more about them. Subscribe to the channel if that button's still gray. And of course, check out my complete portfolio daily newsletter if you want to know exactly how I'm personally trading all of the names we're going to be covering right now, plus many more. There's like 50 to 60 positions in that portfolio at any given time. Of course, I do update this every single trading day during market hours with the trades I've made that day. And along with that portfolio update, I also send out a complimentary email newsletter explaining my thoughts, rationalizing my trades, letting you guys know why I'm trading the way I'm trading. I'll throw some charts in there, throw some real-time price targets. And again, that's just if you guys want to know what I'm personally doing in real time, this is the way to do it. That is $15 a month or $40 for every 3 months. First link down in the description. Really means a lot if you guys check it out. Do my best to make that worth your hard-earned money. But if not, no worries. And last but not least, check out the Discord, you guys. The Discord is going to be popping this week. I'm super excited to just be chopping it up with you guys in there. I know all of the mods, all of the members in there have something great to say. And of course, I do hop in there every single trading day at 2 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time to chop it up with you guys, do a little live Q&A in the general chat every day. Use code YouTube25 if you guys want 25% off this. And again, no pressure to do this, but if you guys want to join that like third, fourth, the exclusive Waves fam, check this out. But again, if not, no worries at all. Let's get into this. I appreciate you guys watching right now as always. So Bitcoin, as I said in the beginning, you guys, you cannot, I mean, obviously you can, but it's tough to look at this chart as anyone who has any idea how to read charts, even a little bit, to not be bullish on this, you guys. This looks extremely bullish. Bitcoin is in an incredibly strong ascending channel right now, kicking off way at the end of July. So it's been over a month now that we've been in this very, very beautiful ascending channel. And I have to believe, especially considering on the short term, we continue to set a series of higher highs and higher lows on the short term. Again, since the bounce off of support, since we tested the baseline of support multiple times. So it really speaks to that line of support on this ascending channel. Bounced up since then. We have been setting a series of short-term highs and higher lows. So high, low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Right now, again, we are scratching $53,000. Would not be surprised at all if by the time you guys watch this video, we are sitting pretty at 53K or even more. But it only makes sense to me, just looking at this, that it's about time we go on to test the top side of this ascending channel, the line of resistance on this ascending channel. This line right here, very, very strong line of resistance. Every trader in the game is eyeballing this, and I can't imagine it won't be willed into existence. Okay, so many touch points right here, you guys. Love to see that strong line of resistance. If we do strike this a week from today, which would be September 13th, that would take us to just over $61,000. So I will say, you guys, maybe we don't shoot up that fast, maybe we shoot up faster. I'm guessing within the next week or so, we see a $60,000 plus Bitcoin. And even if we scratch our way up longer, if it takes longer, remember, you guys, the further this line extends out, the higher the price target gets for whenever we choose to strike this resistance, which when you apply it to every single chart we're looking at, that's really what dictates every one of my price targets, you guys, is just the point at which my trend lines are struck. Okay, so just keep that in mind as well. Always go into TradingView for yourself, draw these trend lines for yourself, and keep an eye on them, especially if you're trading this market. Okay, so that is Bitcoin. Let's move into the stocks. Kick it off with the OG, that is Rye Blockchain. Riot, again, significantly underperforming the rest of the sector last week. You hate to see it, but at the same time, as I said in my newsletter last week, I love to see it because that provides discounted rates for me because I'm freaking bullish on Riot. And you guys know that. Riot's the OG. Seriously, if there was one stock that probably defined the Waves fam and this YouTube channel and kind of the ride we've been on, Riot was really the OG. Maybe Moderna was the OG, but Riot is definitely I would say number one, if not number two, okay? But anyway, Riot looks great right now. And again, I've been watching Riot for years. And against Mara, we've always seen this play out. It happens sometimes. Mara will outperform Riot. Riot will outperform Maya, but Mara. But ultimately, they do play games of catch-up, okay? And again, the more I was saying this in the newsletter last week, even in the videos, the more Mara outpaces Riot in terms of both share price and market cap. And I will take a look at Mara's market cap. I believe Mara at this point in time is worth $1 billion more in terms of the market cap, of course, than Riot. So Riot is currently sitting at a $3.3 billion valuation. I believe Mara is at a $4.3+ billion valuation. Again, we'll look at that after. But share price, obviously, is in my opinion, when you're dictating fair value, it's always market cap. Of course, it's not share price, but share prices have skewed. Mara is significantly more undervalued than Riot, I would say. And again, this principle will diverge over time if Mara becomes increasingly more competent as a company in terms of operational capacity and whatnot. Obviously, you guys, Mara has more Bitcoin on their balance sheet, but from a mining perspective, Riot and Mara are pretty up and up. And I mean, if not, Riot at this point in time is more promising from an actual hash rate and hash power perspective. So I remain more bullish on Riot. To sum all of this up, I do think Riot will outperform Mara this week, just because that's the nature of how these two roll, okay? Games of catch up, we've seen them before. It's only likely that we see those again. From a technical perspective, I do think the Riot could very quickly come up to test this previous line of support as new resistance. Support, 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 resistance, kind of broke through that a while, and then once it broke below it, came back up to test it as new resistance once again and broke down significantly. So we all know at this point that this trend line is in fact in play if we come up to test this pretty quick. So let's just say by the end of the week, which is September 13th, once again, if Bitcoin sees 60K, I think Riot will see at least $44. Okay, so which is from this level is a very, very impressive price increase. But I honestly think that it's very likely as well that Riot does ultimately come up to test this line of resistance and support right here. Significant trend line that's also in play. You could say this is a previous line of resistance on Riot's prior ascending channel right here. So I do think that at some point it is likely that this trend line does come into play. Let's say we hit this once again kind of later September, just where my cursor is falling. This would take us in late September, once again, dependent on whether or not Bitcoin performs, which at this point, again, I can't not be a bull on Bitcoin with that freaking chart and just the fundamentals that are always strong. I do think it's likely that Riot sees at least $50 over the course of the coming week or two in the case that Bitcoin performs. So if we do test this trend line on September 23rd, again, just where my cursor happens to fall, that would take us to a $55 Riot. But again, you guys, maybe it happens faster. Maybe we go freaking parabolic. I don't know, or maybe it happens slower. But I will just say I can pretty confidently say, and as always, you guys, this is just my opinion, say that I do believe we'll see a $50+ Riot over the coming week or two. Okay, and again, the volume here is actually looking good. I love to see volume like this, and that makes me even more bullish on Riot. And once again, before we continue, 4-day trading week, you guys, historically, just, I mean, intuitively speaking, 4-day trading weeks have heights in volatility because just there's more action packed into one day. You're cutting out 20% of the trading week. So I do think it's going to be very, very exciting for some of our Bitcoin miners. If we're going to see heightened volatility, it's going to be this week, all right? So Mara is looking freaking beautiful, and I have not, since I drew this line right here, because it's been pretty closely following, and right now it's, I mean, this is impressive. These lines are completely random, you guys, but just years of looking at charts and drawing these stick figure trend lines, you kind of just catch on to general patterns and general angles. So I have not changed the trajectory of this line since August 18th, and we are following this almost to a freaking T. So as of right now, you guys, and again, it was pretty inevitable to me once Mara did break back into this previous channel, which when we were looking at Riot, that's exactly what I want to see with Riot, and I think it will happen. I think it's going to look a lot like this. So Mara is looking a lot less appealing to me as well, because Mara is getting very close to testing my initial target as at the top line of resistance on this reclaimed ascending channel. Okay, so I do think we could very likely see a $50 Mara by the end of this week to test the top line of resistance on this ascending channel, but that would only equate to, let's go price range. Sorry, there's a price range one. So price range right here, from here to $50. From here to $50 would be 15%, which is of course impressive. But Riot, when we are looking at Riot and we take a price range into account, like if we go like this, let's grab a price range. Oh, wait, we can change that. But boom, from Riot's current price to where I think it could go, like we're looking at like a potential 50%. Okay, so again, from a percentage increase perspective, and just timing these out, as I've been saying, I think Riot is a lot more promising from a trade perspective, but Mara is looking beautiful. Obviously, Mara has outperformed Riot significantly. If you guys have been invested in Mara, if you guys had some calls over the past week or so, congrats to you. But from an upside from here perspective, Mara is just looking less attractive, because I think we'll definitely see some significant resistance as we come up to test this line of resistance on, once again, the reclaimed ascending channel around $50. That said, I still think it's very likely that Mara does see $50, and yeah, excited to see what happens there. More excited, honestly, about Bitfarms and seeing what happens here. Bitfarms, as you guys know, is a smaller stock, sitting just under a $1 billion market cap at the time of recording. And Bitfarms, from a technical perspective, looks freaking amazing. We're seeing volume. We're seeing crazy amounts of volume. 14, almost 15 M in volume, 15 milli in volume, when the average volume is just under 7 mil. So over 2x on the volume. And that's what we freaking love to see. Again, you guys, when it comes to hype, when it comes to momentum, when it comes to this freaking bullish pattern that is this bull flag, parabolic move up, followed by a descending triangle. Talk about this every video because it's true, because it's my favorite trading pattern in the game, and it has such a high potential, like in terms of hit rate, in terms of patterns that resolve themselves as anticipated, as they should. The bull flag resolving itself in resolving itself in a move to the upside as a bullish pattern. Bull flags, I mean, hit way more often than not, okay? Again, my favorite, I'm a bull by nature. I love the bull flag. We have just resolved this beautiful bull flag that BitFarms has been printing. We are breaking out. We are in short-term breakout mode, and now that we've broken out, it would surprise me if we didn't at least surpass BitFarms' previous high on August 10th at around $7.50 by the end of this week. But because Bitcoin's looking great, I think that BitFarms, along with the rest of the miners, but if I was to narrow down to my single favorite trade at this moment in the Bitcoin mining sector, it's definitely BitFarms. Again, beautiful bull flag. It just resolved itself to the upside. We are in a short-term breakout mode. We're seeing beautiful levels of volume, and I would not be surprised at all to see a $10 BitFarms over the course of the month of September, like I said in my top 3 stocks of September video, okay? So from current levels around $6.40 to $10, 2 double digits, that would be just over a 55% price increase for BitFarms. And yeah, that's all I have to say there. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen exactly this week, but I do think we are going to see double digits over the course of the next coming weeks, okay? So that's BitFarms. Let's talk about BTBT, moving to SPRT, and then close it out with Coinbase. So Bit Digital has been seeing a lot of volatility. The volume has fallen off a little bit, but that's all right because it's starting to pick back up now as we've broken out of this jankier bull flag. So a lot of you guys know that if you guys have been around for a while, you would remember the 2-wave theory. It's kind of like the bull flag, but there isn't this solid line of support, okay? So same parabolic move up, same somewhat descending triangle with just a sharper fall. But I do really like to see right here where BTBT has kind of based out around this 1040, 1050 level, okay? So finding a nice solid support, creating this mini descending triangle, following the breakout, which is kind of bull flaggy, but I feel better calling it the 2-wave pattern, okay? Again, obviously 2-wave waves, fam. Anyway, we have seen a breakout. We are in breakout mode, and of course with Bitcoin performing well, it only makes sense that Bit Digital will perform well as well. Bit Digital is currently sitting with a market cap of $700 million. So of all the stocks we're covering aside from SPRT, Bit Digital has the smallest market cap, okay? And of course smaller market caps mean less capital inflow required to appreciate the individual share price, all right? So Bit Digital, feeling very confident here, kind of same as BitFarms. BitFarms just looks more solid. BitFarms, in my opinion, is a more solid play with the volume, with that clean bull flag breakout. But Bit Digital, from an upside perspective, just an upside potential perspective, there we go, it's still very appealing to me as well. We have broken out. I do think that it's likely here as well that we do surpass Bit Digital's previous high. It might take actually, I don't know. This is a volatile stock, and again, 4-day trading week, increased volatility. Maybe this week, Bit Digital sees its previous high of 20 bucks surpassed. So, would not be surprised in all honesty if Bitcoin starts ripping, if Bitcoin sees 60K by the end of this week. I would not be surprised at all if Bit Digital sees 20 bucks once again, because we just saw it a few weeks back. And again, 2-wave theory at its finest right here. I think new highs for Bit Digital, definitely new short-time highs at least, are in the cards for Bit Digital in the near future, okay? And that same theory applies to all the stocks we're talking about today. Close it out in terms of Bitcoin miners with SPRT. So again, you guys, as we were moving down in SPRT, it's no surprise considering how freaking hard this stock is ripped and how fast specifically the short squeeze sector moves. Quick in, quick out. This is a textbook bubble right here. Big move up, bubble pops. We are now seeing this capitulation over the past couple of days. We've kind of based out around this $20 to $22 level right now, which I do like to see because it was almost inevitable to me once we just kind of broke below this level right here around 30 bucks that we were going to close out this gap where SPRT did initially gap up that huge like 130% day we had, okay? So right now we are closing that gap. We have to come down technically to about 20 bucks. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see another 5-10% move down in SPRT prior to really basing out. Maybe we come down a bit lower. A lot of you guys know that my initial one of my targets aside from the gap close was the previous line of resistance that I do think will come back into play as new support. So if SPRT does break below $20, I'll just say right now, I think it's very likely that we see about 16, 17 bucks, or whenever we happen to test this previous line of resistance as new support. At that point, I do think it's more likely than not that we do see SPRT start to capitulate, really see it start to flatten out. And in all honesty, I would not be surprised at all if we see another rally in SPRT because I know the short interest is still there. And remember, the vote to approve this merger is on September 10th, which if there is going to be a catalyst for more upside, it's going to be this. All right. So keep an eye on that, you guys. Stay on your toes on September 10th because that will likely catalyze the news of that merger approval. It's way more likely than not that it will be approved, will spark some upside as well, okay? And again, there's still very high levels of short interest. So I'm definitely not discounting the fact that SPRT could rip, but at the same time, personally, I do want to say that I'm not going to be trading this heavily. I will hold a position for a while for the long term because I do think that Green Ridge is a very promising mine, like has a lot of mining potential from an actual mining operations perspective. But I mean, I made some freaking gains on this, and I don't want to get selfish. And that's the one thing I've learned when you make crazy life-changing games like that, is don't get selfish, appreciate the wins, and move on to the next, and just be thankful for what this stock has provided. And I will always be thankful to SPRT because, again, life-changing gains are definitely something to be thankful about, okay? So that's SPRT. Again, just stay on your toes with that one. Let's close it out with Coinbase, which, again, in my opinion, my personal opinion, is probably one of the most sound, stable trades with significant upside potential in the entire market. So, in my opinion right now, if you were to take both safety and security and peace of mind when taking on a trade, as well as upside potential, I think Coinbase is one of the most beautiful candidates I've ever stumbled across, okay? So, Coinbase is in a very, very beautiful megaphone ascending channel, okay? So, standard ascending channel like we've been looking at, perpendicular lines, but Coinbase is in a megaphone channel for obvious reasons. It looks like a megaphone, okay? It's a lot more exaggerated. And Coinbase, as it's proven back here, I love to see this bounce here. Perfect test off the line of supports, has established a very, very strong line of support. We're seeing volume slowly start to come back. We're looking good. The crypto market is seeing high levels of volume. And again, whether it's a bull market or bear market, Coinbase makes money off transaction volumes, okay? Because they take a small percentage of every transaction that happens on the exchange, whether it's a buy or a sell. So crypto is seeing heightened levels of volume, which means more money for Coinbase. The fundamentals are there. And from a technical perspective, I think it's same as Bitcoin. Way more likely than not that Coinbase ultimately comes and makes it up to test the top line of resistance. There are multiple touch points right here. I like to see this. This line is most definitely in play because we are now getting into breakout mode. Just looking at this chart, it seems so obvious to me. Again, you guys, just my opinion, but as a guy who looks at charts every freaking day, this is a pretty obvious trade to me, and trust me, my portfolio is ready for it. Price target for Coinbase, 21st of September, just where my price target happened to fall, where I happened to draw this bad boy. 380 bucks. I think it's very likely that in the next week or so, we see at least a $350 plus Coinbase. Mark my words. Obviously, make your own decision, but mark my words. I'll talk to you guys downstairs in the comments. Of course, let me know what you're thinking about any of the plays we've talked about, and I'll catch you guys next time. So, until then, always remember, take action. Make waves. Peace.